What's up, guys? Alvaro here, and welcome back to the Bilingual Stock Market channel. Let's go ahead and take a look at both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 in order to try to figure out what could be potentially happening tomorrow in the markets. And let's also break down from a technical standpoint two very hot stocks nowadays, none others than Tesla and Apple. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And before going over the S&P 500, keep in mind that tomorrow is going to be a special day. Tomorrow we have options expiration every third Friday of the month. We have a greater than usual number of options expiring. So we might see more volatility than the one that we have seen throughout this week. And keep in mind that since the markets have been going on an absolute tear recently, most of the options that are going to be expiring or that might be potentially expiring in the money tomorrow are going to be call options. So the market makers are going to feel a very big temptation in order to pull the rug out. They might be feeling, let's just put it hypothetically, they might be feeling an important temptation, a big temptation in order to pull the rug out to have most of the call options that might be expiring tomorrow in the money to expire out of the money. So that's an awareness that you need to keep in mind for tomorrow. So for our chart of the S&P 500, it goes up today 0.23% and closes today's trading session at 4,283 points. So the bulls have two very big tests ahead of themselves. You guys can see this trend line that comes from all-time high back from early January. So the bulls felt this trend line in January, as I just told you guys. They also felt in mid-April or in early April rather, and they recently felt this trend line, and this trend line that obviously has a declining position is coinciding on the 4-hour chart with the 200-day moving average, or it is coinciding with the 200-day moving average for that matter, because the 200-day moving average signals the same price regardless of the time frame. So this is a very big test for the bulls. We are talking about 4,320 points. So if the bulls can take on this level, maybe they might be able to do it tomorrow. Then we might have the technical confirmation that we are about to see another leg higher. Maybe, this is my hunch, maybe up to 4,380 points. This happens to be a previous support back from mid-April. So I think that if this gap happens to be filled in an aggressive way by the bulls, this might be an area in which I am going to be interested in getting some put options. So the 200-day moving average seems to be acting like a magnet, and I'm thinking that we are going to see another test. We are very likely to see another test of the 200-day moving average sooner rather than later. When it comes to the most important supports that we need to keep a close watch on, the first one is going to be 4,260 points. We are talking about a former resistance back from August 10th. And if this support happens to be taken out, then we have another very important support that might be a line in the sand for the bulls at the lower pivot of January at 4,220 points, give or take. As you guys can see over here, this was the lower pivot that acted as support back in late January. I'm thinking that if the bears happen to be able to take on 4,220 points, then we are going to see bearish momentum building up or increasing in the case of the S&P 500. And keep also in mind, guys, that this 200-day moving average is a very important test for the bulls, because if they happen to burst above it and they happen to be able to close one or two trading sessions above the 200-day moving average, they are going to be reversing from a technical standpoint this major downtrend that the S&P 500 has been dealing with since early January. So this is going to be very big for the bulls. Shorting over here, it's a tough one, guys, because we have a rising 5-day moving average. The bulls closed today's trading session slightly below the 5-day moving average, which could be something favorable for the bears. But it looks like the bulls are gathering momentum, making some sort of bullish flag pattern over here in order to take out, or at least to take out the 200-day moving average, or at least make another test of this very important moving average. The RSI of the S&P has cooled off a bit. We can see a 65-point reading. So we can make the case, and taking into account that the RSI cools off a bit, that the S&P 500 could be going either up or down. And tomorrow we have options expiration, and weird stuff happens when we have options expiration. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the NDX, the NASDAQ 100, which goes up today 0.26%, and it closed today's trading session at 13,505 points. And in the case of the bulls of the NDX, they are still some sort of far away from the 200-day moving average that is signaling 14,000 points. So if we can make the case that the 200-day moving average is acting like a magnet for the bulls of the S&P, then we can make the same case over here in the case of the NDX. So if we happen to see a major rally to unleash maybe tomorrow or in the course of the upcoming days, then the next big important spot for the bulls over here is going to be this 200-day moving average near 14,000 points. In the short term, the main area of resistance for the bulls is going to be 13,700 points. They already failed at this level back on August 15. And if we happen to see some sort of retracement, of an important retracement, the main line of defense for the bulls is going to be 13,100 points. We are talking about a former support back from March that, if happens to be taken out by the bears, might be implying that we are very likely to see some sort of turn when it comes to the market sentiment of the NDX, which as of now is very bullish, even though the bulls haven't been able to take out the 200-day moving average, and that implies that we are still dealing, in the case of this index, with a major downtrend. The RSI of this index is at 58 points, so that implies that the NDX could go either way. So watch out for this area, 13,700 points. This might be an area in which the bulls could be failing at, and that might be an opportunity in order to get some puts of the NDX. But mind you, we have a rising 5-day moving average, and the NDX, at least in minor timeframes, is under absolute control of the bulls. Now let's take a look at Tesla, my Tesla. What a hot stocks nowadays. And the split is coming up. I think that the split is going to be carried out in late August. So we are a few days away from the split. So we have a very favorable market sentiment. What is going to happen after the split goes through? It's a whole different story. So Tesla didn't do much today. It went down 0.37%, and it closed today's trading session at $908.61. And it looks like, guys, that the bulls are starting to consolidate slightly above the 200-day moving average, above $905 each, give or take. So if the bulls keep on consolidating slightly above $905, or if they keep on consolidating slightly above the 200-day moving average, this is a clear sign that they are gathering momentum in order to make another push higher to try to fill the next very important gap up to $940. And why $940? Well, because they already failed at $940 on 2 occasions recently, and they also failed at this level in early August. If we happen to be able to take this trade in a successful way, then we are talking about a trade that would leave us a profit of almost 3.3%. And mind you, $940 is going to be a very tough spot for the bulls, so this might be a potential area of interest in order to get put options. The RSI of Tesla is at 50 points. So if you ask me over here, if you ask me today, I think that Tesla has an appointment with $940 unless the market as a whole happen to pull back. If we happen to see the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 getting killed, then Tesla will follow most likely. And the bulls are also slightly above the 5-day moving average. We have a rising 5-day moving average. So there's nothing wrong with the short of Tesla. And I think that $940 is coming up sooner rather than later for the stock of this company. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the market structure of Tesla. This is very important, guys. Sometimes when we see a technical short, the technical short could be looking bullish, but the market structure of that stock could be telling otherwise. So it is always important to reconcile the technical short with the market structure of any given stock. In the case of Tesla, take a look. We can see weakness. Why? Because over here we can see a fall in demand and a rising supply. So this might imply that under normal market conditions, if Tesla happens to fill this gap up to $940, this area is a spot in which we are very likely to see more sellers than buyers. So watch out for $940 and watch out for any process of consolidation of Tesla is likely above $905 per share. For wrapping up the video, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Apple. Full disclosure, I'm getting kills over here, guys. I got puts. So I got the trade initially run. My puts expired in December. I still have extrinsic value, so let's see what happens. But my puts aren't doing good at all. Full disclosure over here. Apple goes down today 0.23%, and it closed today's trading session at $174.15. The RSI of Apple cooled off a bit today, which is something positive. It was very elevated. It was signaling almost 75 points. As of now, we can see the RSI on the 4-hour chart signaling 64 points. And it looks like the bulls have an appointment with $176. This is a previous resistance back from early February that if happens to be taken out by the bulls, this could be happening. I hope for this scenario not to play out, but this is from a technical standpoint clearly a possibility. Then if $176.50 is taken out, as I just said, then Apple is very but very likely to be able to fill the next important gap up to $180. This is a previous resistance back from late March. And after Apple hits $180, guys, all-time high is going to be just around the corner at $183. And obviously, the markets are going to follow Apple. You guys know that Apple is by far the most important stock in the stock market, market cap-wise. So if Apple happens to retreat, the markets are going to follow. And if Apple happens to take out $176.50 each, then we are very likely to see the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 following and going higher. However, if the bulls of Apple fail at $176.50 each, this might be a spot in which we could be buying puts because Apple could retrace down to $171.50. This is a previous resistance back from early April, and this is also a previous support back from mid-December. But the chart looks pretty well, guys. We can make the case that the uptrend that we are seeing as of now in the case of Apple is a bit overextended, but we have a rising 5-day moving average. Apple is getting too far away from home base because it is pretty far away to the upside from its 200-day moving average. So, you know that most stocks don't like getting too far away to either the upside or the downside when it comes to their moving averages. So Apple is overextended. It would be healthy for the stock of this company to see some sort of pullback, but momentum is there. And if the bulls take out $176.50, oh boy, I am going to be losing some bucks with the puts that I got of Apple. And now let's reconcile the technical chart with the market structure of the stock of this company to see if the rally that we are seeing of Apple that we are seeing on Apple as of now still has gasoline in the tank from a market structure standpoint, and it does. Take a look, 9 out of 10, the market structure sentiment of Apple, and we have a demand that is as of now above the supply. So let's see what happens. But I already told you guys, I hope for Apple not to burst above $176 per share. And with Apple, I am going to wrap up this video. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. Remember, and keep in mind, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting stock market update videos Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. So if you want to get all of the notifications of all of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to this YouTube channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram as well, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do things differently because we talk about the markets in 2 different languages, English and Spanish. So you can pick your preferred language, but most importantly, this is the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses, it is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys on Monday. Once again, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. Peace out, and you guys have a very nice weekend. Bye.